Welcome back everyone to Summer Lake on this wonderful Saturday, and you hear it already from the music. Today we are traveling from Japan right into the hot desert nights of Egypt. Yeah, so Egypt is the next country on our Summer Lake journey, and yeah, in today's video you will be seeing how I tackle the country of Egypt. I gotta say though, this is going to be in direct comparison to Japan, a whole bunch more pragmatic and a little bit smaller and a little bit more focused on one element. But you're gonna see this, and also I'm not going to talk you through the entire video because it's gonna be fairly long. We will have the real-time part at the end. This time I'm not gonna split that into two videos. This time it's gonna be only this video, so you will see, as always, the timestamps down below in the video, so you can then just jump from one to the other in case you like the you like the time lapse without my weird talking. That's fine, then you can just skip forward and see it. Well, actually, you could also mute me if that's the thing you like. You can just mute and put on your own music. That's also a possibility. Or you can just, skip forward to the real-time part, which is at the end of the video. Well, not certainly at the end, but at the later stage of this video. Now, Egypt is also one of these areas I wanted to tackle for such a long time. Like, honestly, it's one of these countries that I've never been to, unfortunately, but I definitely want to at some point because I'm really interested into the history, into what's going on with the pyramids and with the whole culture of the ancient Egypt, and it's just in general something I desperately want to visit at some point. But again, at some point it's also quite hard to choose the countries I'm going to travel, or we are going to travel, I have to say. I'm always like thinking about me and my wife now. Well, I did also in the past though, so don't get me wrong, but it's just like it has to suit both of us. And Egypt unfortunately wasn't really on our list in the past because we wanted to see some other destinations first, and that's already one of the questions I wanted to ask you guys. So what is the one country you most want to visit one day you haven't been to? So what is your favorite number one target in the world you want to go to? This is really, I'm so curious to understand and know how you guys want to, or where you guys want to go. So please let me know. For me personally, we somewhat fulfilled this with Hawaii 2 years ago, but it's I think the next really desperate thing I want to do is somewhat Japan, to be honest, and that's also this is also kind of part of the reason why I started with Japan. I desperately want to go to Japan at one day, just to see this country, the culture, the architecture, and everything like that. So yeah, I'm really into that. But let me know what you guys think about this and what you which country it is for you. Let's talk a little bit more about the idea of this entire area. So I will again talk you a little bit more through the layout at the end when we are really in the file. But for me personally, the star of the show should be the pyramid this time. So this is what you're looking at. This is what drags you into this area. And in comparison to Japan, which is a lot more the overall story that is told to you during this area is really a lot more focused on the animals in here. So we do have quite a lot more animals in here in comparison to Japan, where there only was the macaque monkey. We do have the Bactrian camel in here. In fact, it's the wrong one, unfortunately. We would need to have the dromedaries, for example, or like the African camel, or I think, how is it called exactly? I think it's just the camel that lives in Africa. So we do have the Indian specimen of the camels, which is the Bactrian camel, but this is the closest I can get. But this is what I want to do. On the other side, we have the Nile Monitor, and the props go back to my community in the live streams on this other platform, where they really wanted to make sure that we have a Nile Monitor in, because that's definitely one of these things that fits the best to this area. Like I really think this is the best thing you can do once you want check to have exactly these animals that fit to Egypt, and the Nile Monitor makes a lot of sense since it's actually very local to this country. Now, talking about that, I am also building something else which is local, I want to say, but really is one of the things that you definitely see and is part of the Egyptian culture and history. And this is the Sphinx. How do you call that? Like, even my German pronunciation would be weird. It's definitely the Sphinx, and I'm working on the feet right now. Not because I've got a fetish or whatever, a passion about feet. No, who on earth would have let's forget about that, okay? Let's not talk about that one. That was weird. But I just ended up doing this at the beginning, just to make sure that I have a sense of the size of this thing, because we are still talking theme park vibe, and this means we can also vary the sizes of certain things we're doing. So I'm really curious to see how you guys like this one, because it is a bit smaller, and the face at the end will be... Oh my lord, the face of it will be very funny. I tried my best. I really tried my very best, but I didn't really succeed that much, to be honest. Also, another part of it is I wanted to make sure that this is going to be the shelter for the camels. I can already say that I needed to change this a little bit, because as always in this game, it's mostly for the animals about their hitbox and their traversable area, and I just couldn't get this into a size that is somewhat believable. I should have had an opening between the legs that is way too big in terms of any dimensions. So no, it's not, it would have not worked. So at the end I closed it off again, making sure it looks like a statue and like the Sphinx, and that's basically what it was. I wanted to make sure that this works, but yeah. So the idea, again, coming back to what I was talking about earlier, the idea about this overall thing was having those two main habitat animals with the camel and the Nile Monitor, and then inside the pyramid, in the thumb or in the how's it called again, the grave chamber, we do have some more of the oh god, my English is completely broken right now. It's fairly late. I'm gonna record this super late because I still had all these issues of Premiere. I'm gonna say sorry for that right now, because I'm just like completely mind bamboozled right now. The whole day, the week was very stressful, and I couldn't do anything for YouTube the whole week because I was fixing the Premiere Pro issues, which I'm quite sure they're still not 100% fixed. Like, I can render most of the videos, but every now and then I do have a lot of issues, and it drives me nuts, because the one thing that you have as someone who's doing YouTube, you have to rely on the technology. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about this right now. If you want to hear more about the story, I'm gonna talk about this in a few more minutes. Sorry for that, but just need to plug that in here. So the one thing about this is, mostly my process is recording in the evening, then I am cutting and preparing the Premiere profile, and then actually when I've done that, I'm opening the game and I just play a little bit. I'm just going to record a bit more of gameplay, I do some building, I do some other stuff, whatever I feel like in the evening. And just shortly before I go to bed, I set up my computer to start rendering and automatically upload this file to YouTube. So there's a setting in Premiere Pro that you can checkbox, and then you connect your YouTube channel. You can already also set some thumbnails and stuff, and it's going to be uploaded to my YouTube channel. And then I have a little batch file that connects as soon as the video is uploaded. It fires a little command to my computer, and then it shuts down it automatically. So unfortunately, Premiere doesn't have the same function that it says, okay, it's uploaded and now I'm gonna shut down the computer. My old program, Magic's Movie Maker, had this function, which was pretty cool, to be honest. This one hasn't, but with the little batch file, it does work pretty well. So normally, the next day when I come back from work, I can just start up the computer, and normally the video is already uploaded, and I can just check the local file if everything worked, and if everything worked, I'm just going to move the local file to my backup drive, and it's done. That's my normal process of doing it, so I can focus on my normal job the whole day, and I don't need to worry about anything. The video mostly is up, and when I have got some time in my lunch break, for example, I can always check my YouTube channel if it's uploaded, and I can already check some stuff about the description or whatnot, and just have a look if the thumbnail is fine and stuff like that, and also set the schedule for the upload in the evening. That is how it normally works. But as soon as you run into so many issues as I had lately, you completely lose the trust into this one. And there is nothing more frustrating when you set it up as always. You come back home expecting the file to be uploaded, and you're happy because whenever I put a video on live on YouTube and on public, I'm excited. Like, I'm really happy. I'm waiting for the reactions of you guys. I'm really excited to see what you guys think. I'm really waiting for your comments, and I'm just in general like a little kid going into like a shop with a lot of sweets and stuff in there, and just like a candy shop, and I'm just waiting for the sweets to taste them and stuff. That's the feeling. Like, I want to interact. I love this. And when you enter your room and start up the computer in this kind of expectation set, in this kind of mindset, and then you find out that the file didn't render correctly and the video is not ready for today, and your whole mindset needs to change in this second because you cannot do what you wanted to do. That is such a bad feeling, and I hated that. And I had this way too often in the last couple of weeks. And I haven't had these kind of issues for literally like over a year. Premiere 2019 worked like a charm. I had no issues, and if I had some issues, it was solely on myself, me doing some kind of mistakes. Totally fine. But I don't know, I really do hate it when I have no control over it, and I haven't restored my full trust into the rendering right now. So I'm very curious to see if this video is going to be rendered tomorrow in time. So if you find this video on Saturday, it will have worked. If this will be released on Sunday, it won't have worked. So this is again one of these things and days. Anyways, let's talk a little bit before I leave you alone with the music. Let's talk a little bit more about the animals in here. So I was stopping at the point where I lost the words for the exhibit animals, which is actually the word I was looking for the whole time. So in this chamber over here, I'm working on the whole time, which in fact also the time lapse might be a tad bit too quick, to be honest. So I'm sorry for those people who cannot enjoy this insanely quick time lapse. But again, I already cut out again a lot of footage and still wanted to make sure it's one video and not unbearably long, I should say. This is the reason why it is that quick though. But yeah, we have some of the we have the giant scorpion in here, for example, and we have some snakes in here. I try to make sure that these animals that we have in here are also local to Egypt, which in fact, if my Googling was right, they are. So we will have a look at them in the real-time part, because that is what you want to do. And you need to do in order to make sure to see if I was right or not, right? So I will stop when we're talking, even though I have to say I just slowly come back into the move. And no, I don't. I just forget about it. I wanted to say groove. Oh my god, what a stressful week. Guys, I'll leave you alone now with the music. I hope you enjoyed it so far, even though my commentary was completely all over the place today. I excuse for that in advance. Oh god. Never mind. I see you at the other side of the cut, which is not really a cut, but at the end of the time lapse, we will find each other together again, walking through Egypt. Until then, enjoy the last 10-ish minutes of the time lapse, and see you there. Hello, and here we go in the real-time part. I promise, well, we got a baby. I promise that I will try to be a bit more precise now with my English. I'm sorry again for this weird comment on the time lapse, but again, I'm very done from the week. Please bear in mind with that. God, this was a week. Anyways, we are now walking towards Egypt, and there's one thing I want to say right away. The transition between the both countries is not yet the final version. I do have an idea, but I can only translate this idea into reality after we've done the third one. We have to actually change a few things in here to make sure this works, but the basic idea about this is to have some gigantic archways that make the transition between one area and the other area, to also block a little bit away of the buildings and yet let them look good. The reason why I'd say is that I need 3 areas. I want to have a look in how this acts together with different areas, and if I can use the same archway over again, or if I have to change the art style, because as of now it looks a little bit weird. One thing you can definitely see already about the style is that I completely went a different direction with this area. It's a lot less immersive, I gotta say, simply because of the nature of this area. As I said, I wanted to keep it fairly open, and this is more like a little bit of an, yeah, it's almost like a little ruin in front of a old Egyptian pyramid. That's all it is, okay? So there's not more about it. I wanted to make this area look very much natural, as if you move through the ruins. I tried to hide away all the natural path. As you can see, there is lying a lot of stuff down here, some broken down columns and stuff. I needed to use, also for those of you wondering, the yellow tint is obviously not the best for Egypt. I do know this. The problem is, the only chance I could have done this would have been to use the temple pieces from the South American pack. But the problem is, there is not that much temple piece in there in terms of, you know, kind of these wonderful little details on it and stuff. So I needed to use the Indian set as best as I could and try to merge that together with some of these South American pieces, as you can see over here. I think it worked out fine. And again, maybe this is one of those things that in maybe a year's time or so, if we have had some more DLCs in Planet Zoo and some more recallable pieces and stuff, this might look very outdated. But I would be totally fine with that, because that would mean we have got a lot of new cool stuff available. However, on this right hand side, just zooming in here a little bit, we have the Nile Monitor, or as the game wants to call us, I can't see what the first letters are. I don't know if it's the Naranos or kind of a monitor. Is it Maranos? Varanos, actually. It's a varan, right? So it might be Varanos Niloticus, which is paddling there in the water. I think we just have one at the moment. I gotta put a second one in, and this is basically just a little oasis we have over here, with the Nile Monitor swimming in here, just mimicking a little bit part of the Nile area. Yeah, just very simple. You can see a little trick I used in the background. I have the glass barrier. It almost, you know, vanishes in the dunes. So this, looking to the right, looks like we are in the dunes, and this is exactly what I wanted to, achieve with that. Now then, to the left hand side, you already saw it, and we move a little bit closer to it. There is the Camel Habitat, and the Camel Habitat in particular, I just put a lot of thought into that, even though it looks still very clean, which was one of the things I wanted to do, because that is the desert, you know, we do have desert there, and this is what I wanted to create with it. I used a lot more of the textures to create different, tints of sand color, so you can really see how I used some darken in the front, some more bright in the back, to make it appear a bit wider and bigger than it actually is. And then we have the things over here, and again, this was such a hard time making this head here. I wanted to keep it like I love how the humps just like walk by here and just like appearing behind the head. But yeah, I think I'm quite happy with how this turned out. It could have been better if I scaled it up a little bit to get some more detail in, but since these are all light switches already, I couldn't have gone too much smaller. So I know that Ivan potentially would have stayed here for like another 3 hours, and then he would have come up with the perfect islet. And then like 10 hours later, when Mike asked him to, he would potentially have done the other islet too. And next week he would have been done with the whole face maybe. But you know, sorry, we're just fooling around a little bit here. We also have a little Easter egg for Aliyah in here. I'm just gonna not talk about too much about it because family friendly and stuff, you know. But yeah, so this is the habitat from this angle, but we will get another view to this area. Also, a little bit of a realism aspect here. All of the palm trees that you can see, they are put into some kind of baskets, and this is basically because this is a temperate biome, and in order to have real theme parks, you would not be able to have those palm trees in here living the whole time also in winter. You could argue that the rest here, like the cacti and stuff, is all like fake. This is quite often done in theme parks and also in zoos, in fact, even though I didn't think that, but it actually is exactly this way. They do fake a lot of stuff, and yeah, everything else, like these other small cacti and the aloe and stuff, that does grow in temperate areas as well, but the palm trees especially, they don't, and so they're in these planters in order to keep them in the right soil and right heat and whatnot, and the right amount of water and blah blah blah, so to make sure that this works. And even to put it one step further, you could actually move them if needed into another area for the winter, maybe in like a greenhouse or whatnot. So that is also possible. But now let's go in. But before we go in, let's change to nighttime, because this is how you have to view the inside area. Look at that. There you go. Now we are talking. So this is kind of the little alley moving you towards. This is where it goes to the backstage area. I should have put a sign here. I forgot about that. Maybe I do this in the future. Maybe I don't. Who knows? But yeah, you go into here. We have the kind of little broken mosaic or kind of mural flooring, which I think is kind of cool. And then if we go over here to the left hand side, you can already see the chamber opening up to you. A lot of nice light effects here. Look at that. I love it. Also, I made this ceiling a little bit more hanging down, so as if this is it should also appear all a little more narrow and a bit more dangerous, actually, like a little bit, you know, you feel like being in a very narrow and tight little chamber. This is what I wanted wanted this to feel, and I think I kind of succeeded. And yeah, this is the area. I also hit some hieroglyphs here and there. We have some here, and we also have some on this wall, just to make sure we have some Egyptian stuff in here, because effectively all the Indian stuff is not that suitable. But yeah, so then we do have the small exhibits in here, and we have, I'm not like, I think this is where the scorpion should be in. Yeah, there you go. There we have some of the scorpions. There's one, there's another, there's one hidden. We've got more of those scorpions. I can't see any right now, but maybe we do. And then if we turn over to the next one, we have some snakes, as you can see. There is one line, or is it actually, are these two? I think that's like the brown rattlesnake. I'm not even sure which exactly this is, but again, I wanted to make sure that this looks like almost like as if they are living in these ruins over here, except, you know, they are not, but it should at least seem like that. And then in the last habitat over here, we even have another snake. This is is that like a python, or is this just a brown? I think this is the common brown death adder, or what was that again? I'm not like exactly sure. Let's have a quick look what animal that is. Western diamondback rattlesnake. Okay, I wasn't even close. What do we have in here? The puff adder, okay, and we do have, this is the giant desert hairy scorpion. Yeah, exactly. So these are the animals we had in here. We have two shops also to direct the people to go in here, and then we have a little seating area like in this mold. And then obviously, as promised, there is the pathway leading to another little viewing spot, and in order to do this, we just close that one and we change the time of day. Oh god, flashlight in my face, and there you go. It's actually a bit brighter again, and then you just move up, and then you have this wonderful view from the terrace over here, and you can actually look down into the camel habitat, have a nice view of them without actually disturbing them too much. And if you look carefully, you have a little glimpse of the backstage area, which is in fact to the right hand side here. Look at the camel just chilling over there. And yeah, there's another little special thing. You can see the Sphinx is broken up to the backside because this is part of the shelter, and this is how I needed to do it. But it's actually, you can only see it from over here. You cannot really see it from this angle. So yeah, in terms of the guest, it's all kind of nice and good. Right, now let's move out with the camera and show you the area from above. So at the end of the day, size-wise, it's not actually that much smaller than Japan, but Japan just grams in so much more detail, if you will. But one thing I also missed showing you last time is that I did also a little backstage area for Japan. So this is when the people can access the buildings from Japan. So this is where all the backstage delivery would take place. And then, as I said, this is connected via here. And then this road leads further into the Egyptian area, and you can really tell that there is a little bit of thought behind. You can really see there is some concrete peeking through here. We have these kind of walls, and the idea behind this is you just don't have sand in here by default, you know, you have to carry the sand into here. And as we said, yes, it's kind of sponsored by Disney, so we do have all the money. You do have to get it in somehow and also contain it, because you don't want the sand to be flying around your whole zoo, and especially in the Disney zoo, it has to be all tidy and neat. So you have to have some kind of control over the sand. So in case there's some wind and stuff, to not have the sand carry through all of these areas and actually also start to destroy stuff, you do have these fences over here that permit or kind of prohibit this. And then to the other side, it's going to go down a bit, so it would actually all come together in this mold down here anyway. So this is why you don't need this higher walls on the other side, but this is how it should look. And then I have a very easy barebone gate, which this would be the actual gate to bring in the animals. You know, this is kind of from the backside, the cars can deliver the animals over here rather than having this unrealistically in here, how they do it with the boxes. So that's kind of the realistic way of getting these animals in. Yeah, so that's, for now, most of it. There's not much more to say about that. I really hope you guys enjoyed the little look into Egypt. I gotta say, even though it's completely different from Japan, and honestly, that was one of the challenges I put myself, I'm quite happy with how this turned out. I hope you guys are too. So please, again, let me know in the comments down below. First of all, what is your most favorite vacation target, or let's say travel target in the world? Which country you desperately want to go? This is one thing I really want to know from you guys. I really hope you have something special also what we can talk about. And the next thing is, how do you like this? What's your favorite part of this Egyptian area? And yeah, what do you want to see next? Because I'm also curious, because I can already tell you the next one will be very special. For those of you who have been in my live stream, they know it already. Yeah, it's going to be very, very special. And I'm really looking forward to starting with the new country for next week. I hope you guys enjoyed. And until the next one, have a great day, have a great time, and goodbye, everyone.